Hey guys, welcome back to KJ's One-Way Ticket. Hi, I'm KJ. I'm your host. Welcome back for another episode. We are shooting here once again from the 27th floor of my patio of my condo here on Jantia Beach in Thailand. And welcome back again. And this has been kind of a cool format. So we're going to keep this going. We switched kind of from the earlier part of the day where it was like really hot. The last episode I did, you can see I was breaking out in sweat. Evening time. I think the lightings, we call this the golden hour anyway, and I think this is the golden time for us to go ahead and have this one-on-one update. And so we're going to start doing these on a regular basis since I'm getting such a response about this. And as I think about it, after being here 7 months, I think these are really kind of more important now that I have kind of a knowledge level in terms of being here. And so I think this is important. We're going to keep this going. In particular, unfortunately, today we have a unfortunate thing to kind of talk about here in today on our show, and we want to send our condolences to the family of Mr. Larry Sylvester Bermudez, 40 years old, from the United States, along with Catherine Lynch, 31 years old, from the country of Thailand. We send all of our condolences here from KJ's One-Way Ticket. Unfortunately, these two passed away last night in a motorcycle accident that actually happened just right down the road from my condo out here on Second Road. Mr. Bermuda is a black American that was here. Still very little information. I bring this up because initially when the accident happened, they had his passport, but they had no way to contact the family. So I understand that has been done now at this point. So once again, we send our condolences to everybody on both sides. This is an unfortunate situation, but it is a situation that I think and it's a situation we, as an expat community, are currently talking about today. It made me think about, people who come here and safety. It made me think about that thing. So I thought, why not talk about this today? In this, once again, unfortunate situation, we always try to find a silver lining or a light in any bad situation. So this is my way of trying to do exactly just that. So let's talk about safety, guys, because traveling is great, right? It's the best thing you can do, but the most important thing you can do is to get back home. And that's always the mission of every great journey, every adventure, anything expedition that you can do. Is the most successful part is getting back home. You want to be able to tell your stories and share the things that you saw and you experienced. So you can only do that by getting back home safely. So we're going to talk about that in Thailand and its safety. So, with my baseline, once again, just, keeping it real, 7 months here. I'm sure there's plenty of veterans out there who can tell me and give us more tips. And please do. If you're watching, love to hear your comments. So, hey, educate us all, right? We're all here to learn here. So that's what I'm trying to share, and I'm sure you've got things to share. I would love to hear. So, so here's what I'm at in terms of safety and concerns right now. Thailand's a very great place to visit. Let's get that out of the way. It's fun. The people are great. There's a lot of concerns that you have in other places around the world that you just will not have here. I mean, gun violence and all of that thing is just not an issue. I have left my backpack at my table, gone to the bathroom, and it's filled with, hundreds of dollars or thousands, really thousands of dollars of equipment. And yeah, I'm kind of comfortable. Maybe that's, me getting too comfortable. But I also know where the cameras are and just, things of that nature. But it's just a level of it just doesn't happen. I mean, I've walked past, I've seen a passport laying on the ground. You just don't touch it because, more than likely somebody will come back and find it and pick it up, and looking for it. It's just that kind of place. You could lose something and it'll come back to you. So, I mean, this kind of part of the world is kind of like that. I got a story in Hong Kong about my cell phone. Sometimes it's the people too. It's about the people and that integrity. So, and you get a lot of that here. Just while I'm talking about it, just the story in the Bangkok news just the other day. A bar girl, she returned a customer left his money belt with I mean, it was a lot of money. I can't remember the amount, but it was upwards near like 400,000 baht or something like that. It was a lot of money. She returned it. I mean, that's just the mindset. It's an example of the mindset, I should say. But and not to say that theft doesn't happen here, but the main concern here, I guess, when it comes to Thailand, that we're going to talk about, that I feel like is pretty relevant and something that I would share with my loved ones when they come over here, is the traffic situation. Thailand is ranked number 5 in the world as one of the most dangerous places to drive. So yeah, it is a concern. And for me, and I'm not a really concerned kind of person, but that is my concern here. I can't really deny that. And there's not much other concern, but this one actually is. First of all, I live in Pattaya, okay? So I don't have a scooter, I'm a pedestrian. When I planned this trip, I planned to be a pedestrian, at least for a year. I sold my car. I enjoy not having the deal with the automobile, the cost of gas and the maintenance and all the other things that, the cleaning and everything else that goes along with it. I don't have those concerns. And it's it's not a drain or any impact on the insurance. So I'm enjoying it, just to let you know. Having a car has allowed me to really walk and meet and really get to meet people. It's allowed me to kind of know really not kind of, actually get to know the community that I live in, because I walk past it every day. I walk past the shopkeepers and the owners, and they all stand out in their shops, want you to come and visit them, so they see you every day, they wave to you every day, they talk to you every day. It's really a great feeling. So I'm cool not having a car. But for those of you, and I mean, that may not always be the case, and I like walking, but those of us, that might not be the issue. So you might want to rent a car or a scooter, or, there are other modes of transportation. But what we want to be mindful of is the traffic situation. Now, the one thing that, since I've been here for 7 months, and I keep up on the news, is that, foreigners over here is definitely taking a huge hit in traffic and traffic deaths. This one just happened to be close to me, and it happened to be a American, and I happened to catch a story where they didn't even know, how to contact their family. And while we're talking about this, one of our first tips today is, when you do come or travel to any other country, is to make sure you check in with your embassy, so they do have a mode or they have a means or information to contact your family in the case of an unfortunate tragedy such as what happened last night. So that's definitely the lesson that we just all learn as an expat, as a group, so yeah, that's information that I'm just absorbing myself right now. So I'm gonna pass it along to you. So yeah, now if you're traveling only for a week or two, maybe not so much as the issue, but for us long-term people, something to definitely do before you move on or travel. So there's that. So, but when it comes to the traffic itself, you got to remember everything is on the other side for us Americans. The traffic flows differently. But here's the thing, and there's the thing that you need to know about Thailand, is that the traffic signals, there's really no traffic enforcement. Love this country, but traffic enforcement is pretty much non-existent. So when you have that type of environment, you have people who just, speeding is very common. Everything is very common. You can have people going the wrong way on the wrong street just because they're trying to get to the next street so they can cross over, which they do constantly on scooters. Because of that, even as a pedestrian, you must keep your head up and on a swivel and to pay attention. Do not stay too focused in on your phone when you're walking. You do need to keep your heads up and on the pivot and stay aware. For a couple reasons. You're not just looking out for scooters coming at you the wrong way. The pavement can be uneven. So you could trip and fall very easily on the sidewalks. They have not really upgraded their sidewalks, in particular in the beach areas. You must be careful. So that's a great way to avoid having an injury and, it ruining your vacation or your long-term stay. Keep your heads up. And once again, even as a pedestrian, you must look for a scooter coming at you, even on the sidewalk, because they do that to go around the wrong one-way streets. So you have to keep that. But bottom line is, traffic laws here are a suggestion, even a red light. Red lights are not red lights here. They're just, they're just not. I mean, you can run a red light here and there's no consequence. So, and I think that's really what happens, is there's just really no consequence. So what you see here is a lot of accidents that result in fatalities. You also must have a helmet. Now, you must have a helmet. Everybody must have the helmet, either if you're on a scooter, and this is two-wheel, let me just specify. If you're on a scooter, you must have a helmet. Driver and passenger, both can be ticketed individually. Now, us as foreigners, our most common position is on the back as a passenger. So when you come here, you can look into purchasing a helmet because you can be fined and stopped. And let me just also say, that's not very even how they handle that. If you have a few people sitting at the light and you have a whole bunch of people that are not wearing helmet, they're going to grab the foreigner, okay? So just understand that. They're not going to grab the Thai person because they don't very much wear helmets. And the reason being, the helmets are kind of costly, and for a Thai person and their salary, it's very costly, but they are required to have helmets as well, and they can be and should be ticketed equally, whether that happens or not. But people say tough. I have no knowledge on that. So, but you should have a helmet when you're going there because you can be ticketed, and I think the fine can be as high as like 4,000 baht. Don't quote me on that, but that can definitely, kind of ruin your stay or your vacation. So definitely do that. And when it comes to traffic, the other concern that I would say, because as we're losing our light here, is that the biggest concern I hear from people who come here, people who talk about Thailand and the thing when it comes to danger, because you can pretty much walk around here at 4 o'clock in the morning like you can at 4 p.m. in the afternoon as a black man or anybody. So that's never a concern. The only concern that you might have at night is with, or the concern that I'm hearing is with soy dogs. What is a soy dog? Soy means alley dog. The way these dogs in Thailand, you have packs of wild dogs. That sounds probably intimidating to some people already, but we'll further talk about that. But you do have packs of dogs who live in groups, and they have their territorial, they have their little sections of the alley that they reside in. So they usually stay in their alleys, and they kind of live and do everything in these alleys. So you will have to walk through. I have my own personal alley that I have to walk through. I have two groups of soy dogs that I walk through. They don't really mix, and they hold their territories, and they actually bark at each other when one approaches the other. I know somebody's approaching somebody else's territory, but for the most part, this is the situation. The dogs are not threatening. I have yet to hear a story of anybody being attacked by a dog. However, at night, sometimes at night, I'm not gonna lie, that sometimes when they come through, they do get a little bit more bold at night. And not bold in the sense that during the day, they really ain't paying any attention to you. At night, though, they do kind of pay more attention to you, especially at night. Um, and I did have one kind of growl a little bit one night. Well, actually, this was just the other night. So, but I'm not scared of dogs, and I know the dogs, and the dogs know me. And then as I realized, as I kept walking, there was another group of dogs down the street, and I'm thinking that might not even been for me. That might have been for the approaching pack of other dogs. Like I tell you, they all about their territory. These two dogs. These two groups of dogs live like right next to each other, but they could be on opposite sides of the world, because I watch it from my patio. It's actually very interesting, and you will see a series on the soy dogs. I shouldn't have said that. See something like that coming up on KJ's channel soon. So anyway, guys, we're gonna wrap this up. It's getting late, but listen, bottom line, stay safe. When you get here, everything is generally great if you keep your eyes up, your ears open, keep your head open, just stay aware, enjoy yourself, but do it smartly, guys. Hey, stay safe. See you tomorrow.